is up, my friends? Welcome. Complete set review time. Going over all the cards in Modern Horizons 3 for Constructed and Limited. Every card. Giving out the awards you know and love. And of course, we have the colors ready. White, blue, black, red, green. All done. That's multicolored time, right? So, we got that going on. We got 10 new brews happening tomorrow. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, of course, too. We got 10 new brews going on tomorrow. It's my birthday also, actually. And then Modern on Friday. We got the old Bronze Mythic happening as well. I'll check that out next Tuesday. And we got some stuff to do. So let's get right into the games. But first, reminder here brought to you by Team JB Hobbies. And this is my homegrown sponsor. One of my longtime mods. Runs a really awesome hobby shop. Just so cool. Just handcrafted little puzzles and games. Great conversation starters. Great presents. I don't want to call it a toy store because there's so much more than toys. There's such a cool handcrafted awesome things. Again, phenomenal for gifts. Check them out. Team JB Hobbies. Use promo code Jim5 5% off your order. Team JB Hobbies, and check them out. All right, folks, let's get into it. Multicolor time. Starting out with Abstruse Appropriation. Am I saying that right? I hope so.
Yeah.
Black, white, 2 rare instant with Devoid. Exile target non-land permanent. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled and spend mana as though it was mana of any color to cast that spell. Note that it's colorless mana, not any mana. So you must use colorless to cast a color if that is the case. So if you wanted to cast, I don't know, whatever, Obstinate Baloth, you have to play colorless, and 2, or green, and 2. So important to note that. That being said, this card's pretty good, right? Just a removal spell. You just exile their One Ring and just cast your own One Ring. It's pretty insane. So it's obviously clunky. 4 mana is a lot for a removal spell in Modern or other formats, but this card is pretty powerful. It's kind of weird because like it being devoid doesn't really mean anything with this card. Like it doesn't really change how the card works or anything like that too. But definitely a card that's a fringe outside shot and constructed. Definitely a busted limited card. Although very weird because like Black-White has nothing to do with Eldrazi at all in the set. So that's kind of weird. It's funny, actually. Yeah, it's true. This being colorless actually has a downside. It does not pitch to Grief or Solitude. Kind of amusing. But yeah, pretty cool card. Great limited card. And yeah, not really. No standard change, just cool card. Arna Kenrid Sky Captain.
You're saying it wrong.
I think I said it right, but is a Esper Mythic Rare 5 mana 4/4 flying lifelinks. Obviously a great limited card right there. With Ward, discard a card. So right off the bat, this is a great limited card. Just Baneslayer with Ward is awesome. Whenever a modified creature you control attacks, double the number of each kind of counter on it. Then for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to that creature. What a weird card, right? Like, so doesn't really fit the themes of the set. I guess it kind of does, right? Because the Abzan colors are all about modified creatures, and this is obviously an Esper card, which is a little weird. So limited wise, this is just a Baneslayer. This card's obviously really, really good. Constructed, 5 mana is a lot. You know, more of a commander card than anything else. Realistically, you know, historic like maybe, but for the most part, for like 60 card formats, not really a thing. Just a commander card. Brea, Ethereum Shaper. Speaking of commander cards, right? This is a new to modern card. This is a 4-color, white, blue, black, and red legendary human. Kind of a classic commander card. 4/4. EDBs make 2 Thopters, and you can pay 2, sacrifice 2 artifacts to bolt something. -4, -4, or gain 5 life. Cool card, obviously. Obviously a fun commander card. Again, not really a card for constructed. The rate's not bad. You know, a 4/4 for 4, it makes 2 Thopters. It's pretty awesome, honestly. So if you can guess card limited, go for it. You know, that's awesome. But mostly just a kind of a commander reprint, which is fine. It's cool. Conduit Goblin. Now we're freaking talking. So multicolored cards tend to be your signposts for what you want to be doing in limited. There's almost always a signpost uncommon or 2 in every set, which kind of lets you know that, hey, this color pair cares about these specific things. In this set, we're getting a common signpost card as well. And Conduit Goblin says loud and clear what Boros is all about. 2 mana for a 2/2. ATB gets 2 energy. Beginning combat, your turn, pay an energy, and if you do, creature gets +1/+0 and haste. This is a phenomenal common. Excellent common. Boros cares about energy. It's energy aggro. I did do a video on the archetypes as well for the official Magic the Gathering YouTube channel, going over all the archetypes specifically. And check them out, of course, because you know, they pay me for it. It's pretty sweet. And I can't spell, but whatever. Yeah, energy aggro is what Boros is all about. This card's great. It's the kind of card your opponent needs to kill. But if you play this and they kill it, you just net 2 energy. That's awesome too. So, phenomenal card. Constructed, probably not. You know, not really a constructed power level card, but pretty awesome. Cranial Ram is next. And another really powerful Signpost common. This is a cranial plating with living weapon. So black, red, artifact equipment. Living weapon means you get a germ token. And it gives a creature +X+1, where X is the number of artifacts you control equipped to. So, obviously, this card is very, very similar to cranial plating. One of the best payoffs of being artifacts available in modern and various formats. Very, very powerful card. This comes with a creature already, which is pretty awesome. But obviously much harder to cast in your artifact deck, being a red-black card. So, phenomenal limited card. This is what the red-black archetype is literally all about. This is it, you know? And, but constructed-wise, the difficulty in casting this card is probably an issue. So, yeah, insane limited card, outside shot constructed, and apparently also this is the card that that might be pre-banned in Pauper, I think, too. So, we'll find out. Cursed Wombat is next. We still have our Signpost uncommons as well. 2 mana for a 2/3, 4 mana to adapt 2. Permanents you control have, whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on this permanent, put an additional +1/+1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn. Judge, will this trigger the Eternal Witness card twice? Putting a counter on, then putting a counter on, or just once? Judge, answer that please if you can. So, obviously green-black is all about adapting and adding counters to things, getting value for that. As I mentioned in the earlier sections of this, the Jeskai colors care about energy. The Abzan color pairs care about modifying things for value. And then there are a few other singletons, Rakdos artifacts, Dimir draw 2, and Eldrazi in Simic and Gruul. So, this card plays very well with obviously all that adapt stuff and adding counters. Looks like it's only once, but still very, very powerful. So, just a great Signpost uncommon. This is what Golgari is all about, and it's got a good rate, great limited card, good stuff. Cyclops Superconductor. This is our Is It Signpost common. 3 mana for a 2/2 prowess. ETB get 3 energy. Whenever it dies, you may pay 3 energy, and if you do, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So this card is super solid because anything that ETBs and gets energy is great because you get the energy, and if it dies, you can save it for later. And then also you have this, it's free mana wise to have this thing die and kill a thing, which is great too. So super solid card, plays well with a sort of blue-red energy kind of mid-range theme. Looks great. Emissary Soulfire, Azorius Signpost uncommon. The Azorius color is all about energy flyers, kind of like using energy, getting flyers, tempo stuff. This EDBs get 3 energy. Pay 2 energy to put an Exalted counter on a creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Exalted means that if a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 for each Exalted permanent you have. So, this is pretty sweet. You can unload your energy, put, counter, 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 attack with 1 big flyer and get there. It's kind of cool. Obviously not a flyer itself, but blocks really well and pumps your flyers. Excellent card for limited. Expanding Ooze, our Signpost common for Golgari. 2 mana 3/3, 2 mana to adapt 1. Whenever it attacks, put a counter on target modified creature you control. This is unbelievable. This card is better than the uncommon, I think. 4/4 for 3 effectively. And then so many of the Golgari cards care about putting a counter onto a thing to get an effect. And this can just do that over and over and over again, which is insane. So great rate, great ability, absolute top-notch common for limited. Fateful Watchdog. What is going on here? All right. This is a common? Watchwolf Eat Your Heart Out. 2 mana for a 0/0. It has vigilance. And it ETBs 3 counters on it. So why who cares? But why would this be... I can't talk. Why would this be like this, Jim? Why not make it a 3/3? Well, this is a creature that comes pre-modified. Alright? So it's a 3/3 vigilance for 2 that is pre-modified. And then if you were to make this into a 2/2 or a 3/3, whatever, the counters go on top of that. It stats up really, really well. It discard is so good. It's just a super, super amazing common. I cannot believe how good this card is, like a common. Absolute backbone of green-white. Get as many as you can. Holy shit, basically. Constructed, probably not, but honestly, like, if some sort of hard scales deck, like, if you go scales on 1, this on 2, it's probably still not good enough for Modern. But, wow. What a card. What a freaking card. Bombin Common, Faithful Watchdog. Genku Future Shaper. Azorius 4-mana rare, 2/5. Whenever another non-token permanent you control leaves the battlefield, whether it dies or whatever else, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn, make a token with those characteristics. You can get a 2/2 with Vigilance, a 1/2 Flyer, or a 1/1 Lifelinker. Spend 5 mana to put a counter on each creature you control. This is kind of like your classic like limited bomb with no application constructed. Pretty busted. Creature dies, get a token, pump a team. Like a 2/5 for 4 with 5 mana, put a counter on each creature you control is already great and limited. So the fact that it has this token maker thing as well, yeah, I mean, just a good limited card, not much more. Golden Tail Trainers are Signpost uncommon for green-white. They mana for a 1/3. Or as an equipment spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is its power. And then whenever it's X, other modified creatures you control get plus X, where X is this creature's power. Obviously plays exceptionally well with bestow cards, which are often a little overcosted. Again, just a really, really powerful card if you are modifying what you're supposed to be doing in green-white. So great Signpost uncommon, great limited card. Horrid Shadow Spinner is our Signpost uncommon in Dimir, which is all about drawing extra cards. They mana for a 2/3 lifelink. Whenever it attacks, you may draw cards equal to its power, and you can discard that many cards. So once you attack, you'll draw 3 cards for the turn, therefore turning on all your abilities, which is excellent. So it's a good enabler for all your stuff. A little smaller than I would like, as far as making sure it can get through, but still a very good Signpost uncommon. Lifelink is great. Imsker Iron Eater. Rakdos 8 mana rare with affinity for artifacts. It's a demon 5/5. When it ETBs, you draw X cards with X life, where X is half the number of artifacts you control rounded down. Pay 4, sack an artifact, deal damage equal to that set of sacrifice artifact's mana value to any target. So, obviously an absolute house, right? We have our affinity cards, you know, our Frogmere Enforcers and whatever. We can pitch those and deal 7 damage over and over again. ETB, draw a bunch of cards. You lose life, obviously, so this is sort of like in the same space as Thought Monitor, but like a little more aggressive and crazy. Great limited card. I don't think this card gets there unconstructed. I just don't think it's like reasonably doing enough or being cheap enough to be powerful. But great bomb rare for limited. Excellent card. Invert Polarity. It's a trap. Folks are all about this card on Twitter, but I don't think this is what you want. Blue, red. Instant. Flip a coin. It's either cancel or deflection. All right. I'm sorry, not deflection. Copy. There's no card for that. Commandeer. I'm sorry, I apologize. So cancel or commandeer. All right. So neither of those are particularly great, given you're not sure what you're getting here. If it was always gain control of a spell, that would be pretty interesting, right? Gain control of the One Ring. Gain control to Fairy Time Raveler. Gain control whatever else. But the problem is you're not sure what you're getting here, and you're literally just flipping a coin. That's not very exciting. Cancel's not very exciting. It's kind of hard to cast. So, not really about this card. It's kind of a fun limited card. You know, it's certainly reasonable. But, yeah, not really where it's at, I don't think. Modern, maybe modern like 5-6 years ago, but not modern day modern. Not Invert Polarity. And then again, limited, fine limited. You know, I think the stealing a spell is pretty powerful, so like the risk of that is pretty cool. Cancels whatever else. So, fun card for sure, but definitely not a banger. Izzet Genitorium is your Signpost uncommon for Izzet. Blue-red for an artifact. If you gain an energy, gain an extra energy. And then tap to draw a card if you've gained or lost 4 more energy this turn. Kind of a sweet card, right? So it helps you get more energy. And then is a payoff for using or gaining energy. For spending energy. But doesn't require you to spend energy on itself, which is kind of cool. So this is definitely what blue-red is all about in limited. Energy, sort of engine, mid-range stuff. Pretty powerful card. It doesn't do a lot by itself, which is a little scary, but I think this is still a pretty good limited card. Kali of the Vast. Another commander card, new to Modern. We have a 4-mana, 2/2 flying human cleric. Whenever it attacks, put an angel, demon, or dragon in play for free. It's tapped and attacking. Again, more of a commander card. Not really a card for Modern. Just 2/2 for 4. In Limited, you pull this one off. Awesome. But the base stats here are pretty bad. 2/2 for 4. Not really where we're at. So it's definitely an old school commander card. This is from one of the first commander sets. So it's not, but they print this card now. It should be a 4/4 first strike or whatever. But there you go. Kudo, King Among Bears. This card's actually pretty gas. But you need to think about it for a second. So green white for a 2/2. All other creatures have base power and toughness 2/2 and are bears. So, okay, it's kind of like humility, right? Everything's the same size. Why is that good? If you're modifying your stuff, this is all upside, right? So I have that 0/0/0 common dog card with 3 counters on it. Now it's a 5/5. Your germ tokens or whatever are now 2/2s, kind of so on and so forth. So kind of a cool effect if you are modifying things like crazy, and then your opponent isn't, obviously. You're sizing them down and you up. Is that good enough for Constructed? I'm not sure. I probably not. It's a really cool effect, but overall, I would have liked it if this card also made the creatures lose the abilities. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, and then also if you have 1/1s or Scion tokens, it makes them into threats also. So a very, very good limited card. A very easy to overlook limited bomb. This card's excellent. But Constructed, I'm not quite sure. But really cool card, really fun design for sure. Next up is Nadu, Winged Wisdom. The hell is this? 3 mana for a 3/4 flying creature. Alright. Sure. Creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes target of a spell or ability, reveal a top card of your library. If it's a land, put it in the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. This only works twice each turn. It's really freaking easy to target a thing over and over again. Alright, we got Shuko, which for 1 mana equipment, it equips for 0. We can Stoneforge for that. There's also Outrider Encore, which is an Encore creature that can target it over and over again. So, it's not unbounded, We've seen this before in older formats with a Cephalid Illusionist, which is a creature whenever it's targeted, you mill 3. Combo decks back in the day, Cephalid Breakfast would target that infinite times, mill your entire deck and win the game. It's not unbounded like that, but it's limited to 2 per creature. So if I have this and 2 creatures in play, and I have a Shuko, I can go equip, and draw 6 cards. If you have the Outrider in core, you can go target, your turn, target. So you're basically just drawing infinite cards. And it's even better than that because the lands go into play too, so you can just go nuts and go crazy. And it's not even card draw. So you can't Shield it here, you can't Bowmasters, it just puts the card in your hand too. So, card's ridiculous. And the fact that it's a 3/4 flyer for free, also you can't bolt it, it's freaking huge. This card is wild, folks. This card is absolutely ridiculous. How do you build the deck? I don't know. Is it Stoneforge for Shuko? Maybe. Is it Company for this card, Outrider? Maybe. I don't know. But this card does ridiculous things. Well, the lands come in untapped also. I even noticed that. Holy shit. So, yeah. Damn. Shit. What were they thinking? I don't know. This is probably the best card of the set, honestly. Yeah. You can Urza Saga for Shuko. There's just so many ways to keep doing things. Yeah. Holy crap, folks. I don't know. So, Nadu Wing Wisdom, best in show. I don't think it's close. And if we have looking for an early ban candidate, it's probably this card. Just a sure shot. Limited's busted, obviously, also. It's just, really good. And also, if you play this thing, and your opponent Leyline Bindings it, you freaking draw a card. There's no way to profitably interact with this card. Unbelievable. Card's ridiculous. Yeah. Up next is Obstinate Gargoyle. This is the Signpost common for Orzhov. 3 mana for a 2/2. It's flying as long as it's modified and has Persist. Kind of cute here, obviously, because Black-White's all about sacrificing modified creatures. this sacrifices and it becomes modified with the -1/-1 counter on it. You can keep +1/+1 countering it to keep it alive, which is kind of cute. It's kind of cool. It's a cute card. It doesn't seem like super great, but yeah, kind of cool. Cool little card. I wish it had like lifelink or like flying naturally, but whatever. Ondu Not Master. This is your Signpost uncommon for Orzhov, and this one slaps. 4 mana for a 2/2 lifelink. Whenever another modifier creature you control dies, put 2 counters on this. As an adventure of Throw of a Line, 2 mana, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 2 creatures. That's insane. This card is just great on rate. It modifies things for you and then grows. And then if you're playing like modified, sacrifice, value stuff, this card's absolutely perfect. Slam dunk pick if you are the black-white modified sacrifice deck. How good is that deck? I don't really know. It feels like one of the more iffy ones because it's a little harder to pull off, but pretty insane card. Filage, Titan of Fire's Fury.
Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god!
The third entry into the Kroxa Uro cycle. 2 mana for a 6/6 ETB sacrifice if you didn't escape it. When an ETB is Lightning Helix, and then escape for red, white, and 5 cards in your graveyard. This card, it's kind of weird, right? Because I think it might be a little better than Kroxa, as far as like casting it is much better on the front side, and it like helps keep you alive a little better also. But I think that red-white is definitely a much worse color combination for this kind of card, whereas black-red just kind of like lends itself to, you know, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, kind of stuff like that too. So card's good. I think an outside shot I constructed similar to Kroxa. Phenomenal limited card. Just windmill slam, win the game, etc., etc. But yeah, really, really good. I think if this card costs red-white, it would probably be busted. So I can see why it costs red-white 1. It does make it worse. I feel like it should be like halfway, like red-white, you know, and a half or whatever. But really powerful card, obviously. Fringe structure card. Probably gonna be pretty good in historic, honestly, where there's less competition. But card's good. Planner Genesis. I love this card.
Yeah.
Blue, green, instant. Look at the top 4 cards to your library. You may put a land card among them on the battlefield tapped. If you don't, put a card among them into your hand. Rest go to the bottom in a random order. This is just Impulse with mega upside, right? This is just rampant growth plus Impulse. Just awesome. Just a really, really cool card. You know, like Impulse is already a mildly playable card in Modern, and then sort of like Reclamation, Explore kind of effects also really good too. It's an instant. Card's gas. You know, I think it's really, really cool. I don't know what deck wants this card. But I think this card has, you know, if there's a deck that does want it, they're really going to want it. And it's going to be awesome. I think this card's really, really cool. In limited, this card is also very good because blue-green wants to ramp too. So, yeah. And they can find any land too. So you can go find some cool utility lands. Go find a freaking Triome or whatever else it might be. Card's great. Psychic Frog. Get it? It's like Psychotog. So, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, before some of you were born, there was a creature called Psychotog. And Psychotog was, for a long time, the best creature ever printed. This is the Power Crept modern-day version of that card. And it is quite good. Blue-black for a 1/2. Never deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card. So it's a 2-mana Ophidian, which is pretty good. Discard a card and put a counter on it. Exile 3 cards from your graveyard to give it flying on the turn. So you can discard cards to save it from removal, push through blockers. It draws cards itself to self-perpetuate. And then you can just jump it whenever you want, try and draw a card also. It's a discard outlet for discard stuff. This card's just good. Like, I don't know exactly where this card goes, but it is just a really powerful, sort of like Tarmogoyf-esque creature where, like, it just seems like it's, you know, a good big threat for a kind of controlling mid-range deck. And I don't know what that deck looks like right now, but imagine you're playing Gora's Vengeance, you know, and just as a discard outlet, it's also a good card. It's great. So, got the old leapfrog going on. Yeah, definitely a really powerful card for sure. You know, pitches to different things, it draws cards, just a lot. I think your, you know, discard outlet perhaps first and foremost, but overall this card's just good. This is a good card on rate, very powerful card. Psychic Frog, also absolutely insane and limited. 2-mana Ophidian, holy moly. But yeah, really, really powerful card. Kind of silly, but kind of awesome. Pyretic Rebirth. 4 mana for an instant. Turn target artifact creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Deals damage equal to that card's mana value up to 1 creature or planeswalker. Weird card here in that it's a gold card. It's not a signpost. It's nothing to do with artifacts. I mean, really. But card's okay. You know, obviously a fine limited card. You know, you return a freaking 4-drop. Deal 4 damage to a creature. Cool. Card advantage. Yada, yada, yada. You know, so fine limited card. But for the most part, it's really it. You know, kind of weird. It's not an artifact. It doesn't go well in the artifact decks. Riddlegate Gargoyle. This is our blue-white signpost common. It's mana for a 2/2 flyer. EDB get 3 energy. Phenomenal. Whenever you attack, you may pay 2 energy. When you do, target you control gets lifelink to end a turn. Insane. This card is great. I mean, even if it's just a 2/2 flyer for 2 that made 3 energy, that'd be awesome. The fact that it can put lifelink out there when you're racing and stuff too, card's just great. It's a really, really good card for the blue-white flyer decks. It's just a good card. I don't know what to tell you. Great draft card. Roshin, Roaring Prophet. Gruul, 4 mana, 4/4 Legend Giant Shaman. When it ETBs mill 6, you may put a card with an X mana cost from among them into your hand. Tap, reveal any number of cards with X in their mana cost in your hand. Add 2 colorless for each card revealed this way. Spend this mana only to cast, only on costs that contain X. So, again, more like a commander build around, you know, not really a card for constructed. It's cute, you know, but 4/4 for 4 that has, I guess it does draw a card maybe, but the deck building requirement's pretty crazy here. So yeah, more of a commander card. Fine limited card, you know, just a 4/4 for 4, whatever. It's reasonable, but commander card. Scurry Gremlins. Holy moly. Boros Signpost uncommon. 4 mana for an enchantment. EDB make 2 gremlins. Then get an amount of energy equal to the number of creatures you control. Pay 4 energy. Pump the squad +1 and give it haste. So as long as you got some guys in play, this is a pretty crazy payoff for energy. Pump the team. Say you already have some energy and you have like 5 or 6 creatures in play. Boom. +X+O, kill everything, you're dead. So definitely exactly what Boros is all about in draft, which is energy aggro. And does the thing, does it well. Kind of card you hopefully get later if your deck is open, but Snapping Voidcraw. Speaking of being all about things, uncommon Simic 1/3 Devoid. Taps to add 2 colorless. Tap a colorless and 3 and this to draw a card. This is a common? These people are psycho. Just insane, right? The blue-green deck in the limit is all about ramping to Eldrazi. Is there a better card for that than this? Just cast 6-drop on turn 4 by itself. Card's awesome. Really, really powerful card. Just great common. Not much more to say. Sneaky Snacker. More great commons. The power level of this draft format is going to be off the charts, folks. It's mana for a 2/1 flyer, common fairy rogue. Whenever you draw your 3rd card in a turn, return this from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So this is just all about Dimir. Is what Dimir wants to do, right? The 2/1 flyer for 2 is fine. And then you just trade with it immediately. And you want to do drawing cards and doing your stuff. And then it comes back over and over and over again. Card's insane. Honestly, I think this card could have a chance in constructed. You know, there's Cephalid Coliseum, otherwise draw cards as well. Drawing your 3rd card in a Dredge deck is not crazy. You know, Cathartic Reunion, so on and so forth. So, could be a thing in constructed maybe. The card's pretty powerful. Could play it in a Phoenix deck maybe too. That's kind of cool. But yeah, definitely a really, really powerful card. It is also good with Skull Clamp. Not relevant for most things, but really, really cool. But yeah, really, really powerful common. Just unreal. So, possible fringe constructed player. And then for drafts, holy crap. The Necrobloom. Abzan, 4 mana, 2/7.
Oh my god.
Landfall. Whenever a land EDBs under your control, make an 0/1 plant token. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, make a 2/2 zombie token. Land cards have Dredge 2, which is kind of cute, honestly. You can like dredge a fetch land every turn. Obviously a fun card. Not really a kind of card you're going to play constructed, though. You know, Field of the Dead's great because it's a land, not a creature. Much harder to deal with. So, again, kind of just a commander card. Fun limited card for sure. Splashing shouldn't be too hard this set. And card's cool. It's fun, but... Titan's Vanguard. This is your Signpost red-green uncommon. 5 mana for a 5/5 Devoid. Whenever you cast a spell, So whenever you cast this spell, whenever Titan's Vanguard attacks, put a counter on each colorless creature you control. Holy shit. Insane. Red Green's all about Eldrazi beatdowns, and I couldn't imagine a better 5-drop. Like, pump your entire team and make it 5-5, and then when you attack, pump your entire team again. This is going to be a crazy draft set, folks. Absolutely insane. White of the Reliquary is next. Get it? Get it?
Yeah.
It's mana for a 2/2 Vigilance Zombie Knight. Plus it was 1 for each creature card in your graveyard. Tap, sack a creature, switch over for a land card, put a battlefield tap, and shuffle. I think this card's awesome. I think this card's really, really good. The fact that it's a zombie is great. We're looking at recursive things here. Gravecrawler, Bloodghast, all sorts of crap. Obviously plays awesome with Bloodghast, right? You just sack Bloodghast, and then you just search for a land, get Bloodghast back immediately. It's awesome. You can get cool lands like Phyrexian Tower. Card's dope. I like it a lot. And also, like, with a few creatures in the bin, it's a 4/4 Vigilance, which is great. So this card has it going on literally all fronts. I'm kind of surprised this card doesn't cost 3. Like, at 2 mana, this card is just ridiculous. Awesome card. Looks like a really fun card. Card's awesome. Great limited card, too. Just absolute bonkers as well. So, Writhing Chrysalis is our Gruul Signpost common. 4 mana for a 2/3. Whenever you cast a spell, make 2 tokens. It's got Reach. If you sacrifice an Eldrazi, put a counter on this. It's good. Not as good as the other cards are. I mean, by itself, it's like, a 4/5. And it can ramp also. But good common for sure. Very good. And now we come to our MDFCs. We have the dual land MDFCs. This is some ridiculously gruesome art. Holy moly, that is terrifying. These are dual lands on the backside that come untapped, so no ability to pay life to get them untapped. But they are spells that are also dual lands. That's pretty huge for limited and for otherwise. And this is Blood-Soaked Insight, 7 mana sorcery. Costs 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Target opponent exiles top 3 cards of your library to the end of your next turn. You may play those cards if you cast a spell this way. Mana every time you use to cast it. This card's really good. I mean, even as a coming to play tap, dual lands are just good and limited. Like, full stop. No, nothing else is needed to make them good. And this is like a very reasonable spell also, which is pretty cool. So, steal some cards, card advantage, and if you attack for 4 or 5, whatever you cast it for cheap, card's a phenomenal limited card. Not a destructive card, I don't think, but phenomenal limited card. Next up is Drowner of Truth. This one's kind of cool. This is the biggest of the MDFCs. So you could like use Flicker Wisp or other blinky effects that can target lands to blink this on like turn 3 and make it into a 7/6 on turn 3, which is kind of cool. Not necessarily maybe busted, but just a cool thing to think about. 7 mana for a 7/6. Devoid. Whenever you cast this thing, get a Scion. Or 2 Scions if you play a colorless. Pretty cool. And then of course in limited, it's just insane. Again, just dual land, big idiot. Ridiculous limited cards. The Orzhov entry is Glasswing Grace. 5 mana for an enchantment creature. Plus they will see flying and lifelink. And also a dual land. Also just insane. The kind of limited card that like, you can get blown out. But if you feel like you're going to get blown out, play as a land, whatever. It's cool. The opportunity cost is just so freaking low. So that's awesome. We got Age Graced Chapel. I'm sorry. That's the land. Sorry. Legion Leadership. It's mana for an instant that doubles a creature's power, gives it first strike. So almost double strike, but not quite. But these sort of double strike effects can be really, really powerful, but they are fairly linear. So making it onto a land is kind of awesome as well. Constructed, I mean, maybe, probably not, but maybe, honestly, Yeah, it goes very well at Slickshot Show Off for sure. And of course, Legion Stronghold, cool land. We got Revitalizing Repass. This one's probably the best of the bunch. Ridiculous. 1 green or black. Add a counter to a creature. Give it indestructible. And it's a dual land. Like, it's like almost Snakeskin Veil. Which is already a card that's like borderline playable by itself. And it's also a land too. Absurd. Just an absolutely absurd card. Off the charts absurd. Crazy, crazy, crazy. What if Snakeskin Veil was a Guildgate? I know, right? The blue-red option is Rush of Inspiration. This is a 3 mana instant draw 2. Then discard a card at random, especially pay energy. So if you're an energy deck, this card's insane. just like instant speed draw 2. It's also a land. Like, holy crap, right? Great art, too. Really, really sweet. But, yeah. Wild card. Just so good. Strength of the Harvest, 3 mana for enchant creature. Plus +1 for each enchantment and or creature you control. Another insane aura for your modified deck. Just crazy. Crazy stuff. Haven of the Harvest. Stomp. 2 mana for a sorcery. This is just a bite. Source speed bite for a creature or planeswalker. That's like what you pay for in a normal limited game. Like, 2 mana to bite? That's insane. Red green dual land, insane. Burn Willow clearing, crazy. Suppression Rays, 5 mana for Azorius sorcery. Tap all creatures target player controls. You may pay X energy, and you can stun X creatures. Also great. And also the kind of conditional card where, like, you're behind to play it as a land. But if you're ahead, you win the game. Crazy. Orderly Praza. Waterlog Teachings, 4 mana for an instant. Search for an instant. Card flash, put it on your hand and shuffle. This is the one that has the most potential for like combo decks, I feel. Like Oops All Spellsy kind of decks. Yeah, and then obviously just you can go find an instant. It's freaking dual land also. Just crazy. A little less efficient, but it's just a tutor for combo decks too. Like if you're just playing a card that wants a combo instant, I don't know, whatever. It's crazy. And then that's it. Holy shit. All those cards are absolutely insane. So to recap Multicolor, Nadu's Best in Show probably getting banned. Psychic Frog is your sleeper. Invert Blood is your trap card. And Faithful Watchdog is your Bombin Common. Holy shit, this set is powerful, folks. All right, YouTube folks, like, comment, subscribe. You got one section left, maybe 2. I might do the bonus cards too. Colorless is next. A lot of crazy cards in there. All your draws are in there too. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's do this.